one of the things that we are organizing in Lisbon at the foundation, at the Carlos Gulbenkian Foundation, is a week of Armenian culture-related events. Among them, exhibitions, an academic conference, and music concerts. So the Gulbenkian Orchestra is going to play Armenian music during that week. We will have some additional chamber music concerts as well on Armenian music. There will be, prior to that, for 4 to 6 months, an exhibition on the work of Arshil Gorky, showing the work that the foundation either has or the museum either has or is on loan to it, and an academic conference on Portuguese and Armenian trade merchants and trade networks. All that's happening, as I said, in October of 2014, mid-October. We will also have an exhibition on the papers of Carlos Gulbenkian, his letters he received, letters that he has written, and some of these letters are fascinating because they're a portrait in his life, in his personal life, and they're written in Armenian. They're written in Turkish, but using Armenian letters. So it's very difficult to read them. Not only the handwriting, but also you need someone who knows Turkish and Armenian to be able to decipher them. And so we're in the process of also hiring someone who can do this, to tell us what the content of these letters are.
What is your mission? What brings you to America? What are the concerns you have?
Well, the department has not been dormant. The department has continued to give grants, scholarships, supporting schools around the world and all that. It hasn't necessarily managed to tell the story all that well, and especially in North America. So there's a perception that it's been dormant, but it really hasn't been. So my job has been to actually take it to another level, to develop a programming plan and to implement that programming plan for the next 5 years. So at this point, last year, I've been there for 1 year, so last year I developed the plan, and this year we're actually going to start implementing the plan. So now I am going around to certain communities, explaining to people what we are going to work on, and trying to develop partnerships and identify people and institutions with whom we can implement this plan. The plan is all about Armenian culture, Armenian education, language, etc., etc.
I read about the plan. I do know about the 4 points you raised, including Armenian-Turkish relationship, and you try to work hard in promoting that. The question is, don't you think that is already taking place within the Armenian diaspora by other organizations? And I would say AGBU is doing a great job, has been doing continuously for decades. So are you working in parallel? Is there a way to bring these two forces and fight this very serious situation of Armenian community?
Well, we've been involved with the Turkish Armenian community in Istanbul for a long time by supporting schools, for example. We have done that for many, many years. What is new for us is to be involved with Turkish Armenian dialogue initiatives. And we are aware of other initiatives like this. I've been in touch and I have met AGBU's folks who work on this. And so it's not a question of duplicating each other's work, but complementing each other's work and putting resources and pooling resources so we can do this. Our emphasis is on civil society collaboration and various dialogue initiatives.
What is your message to people watching this video, just to summarize your concerns, your main concerns?
Well, my message is that we need to plan our work, and we need to implement our plan. So we need to work in a way that is modern, that is in line with 21st century methods of working, grant making, that we need to be accountable, and we need to have a sense of, develop a sense of ownership. There is no such thing in the 21st century that send us a check and don't ask questions. It's like, if we are going to fund something, we are going to ask questions, we are going to work together in order to develop the things that interest us, and we need to be accountable to the foundation, to our bosses, and more importantly to the general Armenian community. My professional background so far has been sort of two distinct lines or two distinct paths. One was my PhD and a subsequent teaching, which was in or related to Armenian studies. So my academic work is all about Armenian issues, the Armenian diaspora, identity, and things like that. Then I left the academic world and I worked in international development in everywhere besides Armenia or former Soviet Union. So I work in places like Africa, Afghanistan, China, things like that. And that's where my international development experience came, my programming experience came. This job is actually the one job that combines those two. You need to have the Armenian background and you need to have the international development and programming background to be able to do things better. So it's also a job that you required English, French, and Armenian. So it's in terms of languages. So it is something that it felt like all these years I've been working in different tracks, and this one job brings everything together, and it's in Portugal.
In your report, you mentioned that your concentration is the Western and Middle Eastern Armenian concerns and situation, and you also hinted on diaspora being created in Russia and
Right.
communist areas. How much of an attention are you giving to that area?
Well, our focus is the Western diaspora. The Western diaspora, and it's also Western Armenian. That's the focus for the next 5 years. So that naturally means Europe, North America, Latin America, and of course the Middle East, where there are large Armenian communities. However, we do realize that there is a new diaspora. It's a significant diaspora, and that is the new Armenian diaspora in Russia, Ukraine, and whatnot. And there are some major issues to be dealt with there. However, we don't have the means to deal with this. And so the commitment that we have made is that sometime during the next 5 years, we're going to commission a serious study, and we will fund it in order to understand this diaspora. So it's a research project, essentially, on this new emerging diaspora, but which we know very, very little, especially the Western Armenian communities. They know very little about this diaspora. So its first step is to understand it.
Razmik հայերենով անպայման պետք է խոսիկ մեկ երկու խոսք ծեր մտահոգություն ամփոփելով ինչ են ծեր հայախոս դարին ինչ կուզեք ցել հայերենով
Այս վերջին սերունդն է որ արևմտահայերենը գնա փրկել Եթե այս սերունդը արևմտահայերենի ամրապնդումին եւ առաջացումին վրա չաշխատի որպես ամենօրյա լեզու արևմտահայերենը պիտի մեռնի եւ գազեմ թե մեր առաքելության հիմքը ադոր համար եղավ կոնե այս հաջորդ 5 տարվա ընթացքին փորձել ամեն ծև ուսուցիչ պատրաստելը մինչև նոր տեխնոլոգիներ օգտագործել որ լեզուն գրնանք ոչ թե միան բահբանել ամրապնդել եւ առաջացնել երդասած սերունդի համար